military base that afternoon felt more like a carnival than a fortress. Soldiers leaned against armored vehicles, some with folded arms, others exchanging bets of their own, all waiting for the spectacle that was about to unfold. At the center of the crowd stood General Marcus Kane, a man whose name alone carried weight across the ranks. With decades of combat and countless missions behind him, his confidence was as immovable as steel. He had seen young recruits boast before, but this one was different. A slender, calm young woman named Claire, who claimed she could do what even his best snipers considered nearly impossible, hit a target 1 full mile away. $1 million says you can't do it, the general barked, his voice booming across the open field. Laughter rippled through the soldiers like wildfire. But then he raised the stakes, eyes narrowing with mischief. And not just that, you'll do it blindfolded. The laughter grew louder, echoing across the desert wind. Soldiers clapped their hands, some shaking their heads in disbelief. To them, the general wasn't just betting money. He was publicly dismantling this girl's confidence. Claire, however, didn't flinch. Her lips curved into the faintest smile, and with quiet determination she whispered, "I'll take your bet." The crowd roared again, some mocking, others suddenly intrigued. $1 million was on the line, but more than that, the pride of a decorated general hung heavy in the air. When the blindfold was tied across Claire's eyes, the base fell into a strange silence. The laughter had not disappeared, but had dulled into nervous murmurs. Every man present could see that she wasn't trembling. She wasn't fumbling with the weapon. She wasn't second-guessing herself. Instead, she moved with deliberate grace, her fingers caressing the rifle as though it were an extension of her own body. Even blindfolded, she checked the bolt, adjusted the scope, not to see through it, but to feel the weight and balance. "What's she doing?" a soldier whispered. "She can't even see the target." Another scoffed. "She won't even hit the dirt close to it." Yet, the general's grin had begun to fade. Something about her calmness unsettled him. Claire tilted her head slightly, as if listening to the whispers of the wind. She spread her feet firmly, inhaled deeply, and let the world slow down around her. "Ready," she said softly. Her finger rested on the trigger. Time seemed to freeze. Then came the thunderclap of the rifle, echoing across the field. The bullet tore through the vast distance, invisible yet precise, slicing through wind and air resistance. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then, a sharp clang rang from the steel target a mile away, so loud and undeniable that it silenced every laugh instantly. The bullet had struck dead center. The base erupted, not with laughter this time, but with gasps, curses, and shouts of disbelief. "No way! That's impossible!" someone yelled. Soldiers rushed forward, binoculars rising to their eyes, confirming the truth that no one wanted to believe. She had hit the target, blindfolded, at 1 mile. The general's face turned pale, his pride shattered more painfully than the $1 million he now owed. The crowd that had once laughed at Claire now stared at her, as though she were not human, but something beyond their understanding. Some dropped their jaws, others pounded their helmets against their thighs in shock. A few even began cheering, clapping, shouting her name, as though they had witnessed history itself. For the general, it wasn't the money that stung, it was a humiliation. For years, he had been a symbol of unshakable dominance, the man who believed no one outside his command could surprise him. Yet here stood a young woman who had, with one impossible shot, destroyed every assumption he carried. Reporters would later call it the Miracle Mile shot, and newspapers described it as the bullet that changed history. When journalists swarmed Claire afterward, asking how she did it, her answer stunned them more than the shot itself. She smiled and said, "I didn't need my eyes. I trusted everything else. My training, my senses, my instincts. The target was never out there. It was always here." She touched her chest softly. Those words traveled faster than the bullet itself, etched into military history, and quoted by millions who found inspiration in her defiance. That day wasn't remembered as the day a general lost a bet. It was remembered as the day a blindfolded girl redefined what human courage and precision truly meant.